What more do you want from me?
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
I don't get it. I don't get what you want from me. What the heck do you guys want from me? I've done my best. I tried my best, okay? When it comes to these tier lists, I do my best. And I have to say this, I think all of my tier lists have been perfect. I wouldn't change anything. It's the best tier list ever created. Every single one of them, they're the best I ever created. And yeah, no one could do any better. I think that you guys, if you disagree with it, you're probably just wrong. I'm just joking. Not really. Okay, let's talk about this. So people really hate my tier list, or at least a couple of them. I've done about 4 of them thus far, and I'll be honest, like I don't get some of the arguments. Like, a lot of people didn't like the shooting one. They were like, dude, but statistically, that even though in the video I literally said it's based on natural ability and it is the eye test of what I'm seeing, like who has the purest jump shot, not necessarily who's better statistically in shooting. Like, tier list in my opinion should be pretty subjective in that regard. I mean, objectivity is fine. Looking at stats for certain instances is fine when you really have to, but for the most part, I'm okay with just going off of what I subjectively feel. So yeah, I didn't understand people hating that one. The athlete one I think did okay. I think most people agree with that. But yeah, like some of my tier lists, man, people are not getting it. But honestly, I'm having fun making them, so I don't really care. All right, so let me go ahead and talk about this. Jeremy Sohan's multicolored haircut. Big shout out to you. He's the one that actually told me he wanted to do me wanted him to do me. I'm not editing that. He wanted me to do some tier lists. So yeah, so I did a multitude of tier lists, and I just enjoy doing them. So I do this every now and then where I make a post to YouTube members and Patreon members and say, hey, if you guys want me to do anything as far as like any topics or talk about anything in particular, like just put it in the comments, and that's what he put, and I found it interesting. So let's do defensive tier lists. All right, so I'm gonna do this at random. I just think it's more fun that way. So let's just do Keldon. All right, we'll do Keldon Johnson. Now, let's see. I will put him in good. That's like my instinct says good. But then when I think about it, he hasn't really been able to be in his primary role at all. He hasn't really been set as small forward at all. Many times we had him guarding big men, so I know that that's pretty tough on him. We've kind of had like a defensive front court problem, but I think for what position we put him in, I think he's held his own pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in great defender, okay? And we'll end up seeing what order I will put the great defenders in, but just instinctually, I would say good defender, but based on what he's done, great defender. I have to put him in great defender. All right, let's go ahead and go with Joe Wieskamp. I'm not quick. We haven't seen enough of him, so I'm basing my opinion off of what I've seen in G League. And in the G League, he was a pretty decent defender. Like I don't remember him getting broken down much defensively. Like I don't know. I think that he kind of held his own, especially G League. That's a guard heavy league. I think for what he was doing, he was fine. I'm gonna put him at okay defender. I don't necessarily think he's a good defender. And he's definitely not a poor defender, I would say. All right, so let's go with next. We're gonna go with Josh Richardson. I'm just gonna go ahead and put him in good. All right, I just think he's a pretty good defender. Nothing in particular there. Nothing to really highlight there. I don't think anybody will really disagree with that. But yeah, just let me know how you feel about Josh Richardson. I'm just gonna put him in there. I'm getting the guys that I'm not as fun out the way really quick. Colin Sexton. See, I want Colin Sexton. Zach Collins. I think he's a great defender, but as far as what I put him ahead or behind, for what he is, I'm gonna put him slightly ahead of Keldon. That's where I'm gonna put him. He's basically known for his defense, especially going into the season when the Spurs even grabbed him. He's known for his defense, so I'm gonna put him there. I don't think he's necessarily in the elite category, but hey, that's just my opinion there. Okay, Don Barlow. Let's do Don Barlow. Okay, so this is really based on Summer League, and obviously all this can change once we actually see him go against NBA talent, but I think he has a lot of versatility defensively. As far as articles that I read, is like with him with overtime, he's done really well defensively. Like that's one of his highlights. And I would say in Summer League, I definitely seen that as well. Even though the competition was quite different, he still held his own, and even though he had to sit at center, he showed up. So I'm gonna put him right now, I'm gonna put him at the end. I'm thinking end of great defender, but we'll see as we go on. But that's where I think I'm gonna put him. All right, next, let's go with Doug Mcbuckets. This is a tough one. He's definitely not a poor defender. I don't know if I would say Doug McDermott is a good defender. He's one of those that kind of just hold his own. He's not necessarily going to just be exploited defensively. But for what he is, I'm going to put him ahead of Joe Wieskamp in okay. I think he's an okay defender. Moving on, KBD. He also has quite a bit of versatility, a little bit. We've had him guard big man. We've had him guard small forwards. But honestly, anyone on the wing or guard, usually he gets blown by pretty quickly. So I'm gonna put him at the end of good defender, okay? Because he's shown enough where I will sit back and say, oh no, like he deserves playing time. And he's not getting exploited. He made some really good plays defensively. But I don't know. He can't go in the great category. He'll probably be near the end of good defender. That's what I'm assuming right now. Okay, that's my assumption. All right. Next up, let's just go and go Yaakov. Okay. We all know Yaakov is a shot blocker. That is what he's great at. Now, would I put him in elite? No. There's been way too many instances where he just weren't able to hold his own, but I think it's also not all his fault. I think it's also because just we have a big man problem, or at least we had it, and he didn't get a lot of help there. I'm gonna put him in great defender, and I'm gonna put him ahead of Zach Collins. And I know that this might not be fair, but also Zach Collins, it's just not enough of him. But I have a pretty nice dose of Yaakov in many different situations, many different talents I see him go against. I'm gonna put him top of the great defender. Right there. All right, so moving on, let's see, let's go with Malachi, because some people have questioned Malachi's defense. He's not a great defender, and I don't know, like I said with other people, we might need to see more of him. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the head of okay defender, because I have seen him play some pretty decent defense. He's a pretty savvy defender at times, but at the same time, he hasn't really necessarily shown that he's gonna be a really good defender just yet. So I'm putting him at okay defender, but if anyone convinced me or just like said, no, I think I'll put him in good, like I will move it in an instance. Like for instance, if I was talking to Impeccable or Switch Hill right now and they say, man, I'll put him in good, I'd be like, okay, I'll just move him. So, but me just instinctually, I'm throwing him in okay, top of okay defender right now. All right, moving on, let's see, let's do Devin Fasale. All right, so Devin Fasale's a weird one for me because he's kind of known for defense, but me personally, I haven't seen a ton of great two-way ability. At least not what I expected, but I can't necessarily put that on him and say, oh, well, I expected this, but this is what you really are. It's just, look, what is he right now? I'm going to say in the midst of so many different defenders in the NBA, as far as guards, I'll put him in great. And I'm going to go ahead. Don Barlow hasn't shown me enough yet. I think I'm going to put him right behind Keldon as far as defense. No, you know what? Ahead of Keldon. He's ahead of Keldon defensively. Yeah, I've seen enough there. He's ahead of Keldon defensively. But I will say he's behind Yaakov and your boy Collins here. All right, now we getting spicy, y'all. We getting spicy. All right, so we got Romeo Langford. Once again, another player I haven't seen enough of at all, but I went back and I did, because before I did this tier list, I did go back and like watch some things, and I saw some articles with him with the Celtics, and he's known, apparently from Celtics fans, he's known for his defense, and he had many instances where he showed a lot of great defensive ability. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in great, but once again, he's one of those that I haven't seen enough of, that I'm really basing this one off of like what other people have said. Because just for the Spurs, it's just beyond, I haven't seen enough. When he's out there, he's played okay, but I just haven't seen enough. But this is what he's kind of known for in an instance. So if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment. I'll be quick to say I'm wrong. Okay, I do not mind saying I'm wrong with this one. Actually, you know what? I think that's more fair. I'm not gonna throw him in great when I haven't seen him. I'm gonna put him ahead of good. Yeah, just put him ahead of good. All right, moving on. Let's go with Blake Wesley, and I'm basing this mostly on Summer League. He shows a lot of competitiveness defensively. I don't think he really shown a lot of like defensive talent, not in the summer league at least. I'm gonna have to see more of him, but thus far what I've been seeing, he's definitely ahead of your boy Malachi. Okay, I would say he's ahead of KBD, but I'm gonna keep Josh Richardson right ahead of him. So I'm gonna put him right here in good defender right after KBD. I think that's fair. All right, ooh, now we getting spicy. These are the ones I care about. Okay, these are the ones I really like. Okay, so let's go with Isaiah Roby. Now Isaiah Roby. Now this might be a controversial one, but everything that I've been looking into thus far, he's going in this great defensive category. But he also has a lot of versatility where he can guard 1 through 5, and he's even had instances throughout this season where he made Jokic look silly. So you know what? I'm gonna put him right here. Wait, can I? Hold, wait. There we go. Yeah, I'm putting him at the head of great defender. Just so much versatility there. I love those guys that can guard 1 through 5. It's just too beautiful. Okay, so I'm putting him at great defender. All right, so here are the guys left. Here we go. Trey Jones. Trey Jones is also a poor defender. I'm just kidding. Obviously, he's a really good defender. Now I'm just kind of hooked on, do I put him in good or do I put him in great? I'm going to go ahead with Trey Jones. I think he's shown a lot. I think if he hits probably per 30, I mean, now I'm going to statistics, right? But I'm just trying to think, like, if we did like per 36, he'll be averaging like a steal per game. And it really shows it throughout these games that I've seen. He's been a really solid defender. I don't know if I want to say he's a great defender, but he's ahead of the pack, at least good defender. I'm going to put him at the head of the pack of good defender. Okay, you might disagree with that. I don't care. I think that's nice. I'm just kidding. I care. Look, if you disagree, let me know. All right, moving on. Josh Primo. Should we? No, let's not do Josh yet. Let's do your boy who the Spurs just got, Jordan Hall. Poor. He's a poor defender. I'm sorry. And I know the summer league will show me a little bit differently. I don't think that he was like terrible in the summer league, but just everything that we know of him thus far, everything I know that he's a very skilled player offensively. I know that he makes some really great reads, a very smart player, more of like a point forward, but defensively he looked poor, especially in college where he didn't even have like crazy amount of competition as other guys, and I still saw him as kind of a poor defender. So I'm gonna keep him at poor. And hopefully that changes in the next, few months or whatnot, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now we got Josh and we got Sohan. Okay, so Josh Primo. All right, you guys know I love me some Josh Primo. Okay, and one thing that people do not talk about is Josh Primo's defensive ability. He's very similar to me as far as how he plays defense, like Derek White. Very savvy, very smart. At the right place at the right time, moves his feet well, takes charges, sneaky athletic as far as he can get a block on you and you did not see it coming. Very good at communicating on the defensive end, but I'm not going to go as far as say he's an elite defender. I think that's a little wild. I'm going to go ahead and put him behind Roby. And I already know everybody's like, wow, bro, he's ahead of Devin Vassell and Kelton. Yes. Yeah, I think he's a better defender. Just naturally, what I've seen, I think he's going to be, projected to be a better defender. But as it stands right now, from what I've seen, yes, he's a better defender. But look, they're all in the great defender category. Don't get too angry. And Jeremy Sohan, elite. Yep, he's elite. He's an elite defender. He can guard 1 through 5 easily. Same with Isaiah Roby, but at the same time, I think Sohan's just a better defender. He communicates exceptionally well on the defensive end. You can start the game off. He has the strength to just stay with any center, especially in college. He had this, he could do this in college. Stay with any center. The coach even said in college, he was like, look, we might have him starting off on the center, but then if their guard starts getting going, we're like, all right, Jeremy, we need you to go get on him. And he would get on him and lock him down. And we're like, okay, all right, now the small forward's getting going. We need you to go on him. Then he'll go on him. He was switching all over the place. If you go and watch any highlights, honestly, just watch full-on games. Just watch full games. Specifically, I put this on Twitter like a while ago, but watch Jeremy Sohan versus Kansas, and I think that you get to see how much potential he has defensively. It's ridiculous. I watched the entire game. He didn't have one instance of poor defense. None. He was running the entire show. Some people have said when I uploaded that, oh, dude, he looked lost out there. I don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. He was in control that entire game. He was basically telling people where to go. He was following the ball beautifully. He contested if he was anywhere near the ball, that ball was getting contested. He was absolutely incredible. He was diving on the floor, making big blocks, big steals. It just showed how good he could potentially be in the NBA. And I believe after that Kansas game, he ended up being projected as like a top 5 pick, top 5, top 6 pick or something like that. Obviously, like, people kind of lowered their expectations a little bit as, you know, a few more games went by. But look, that's besides the point. Yeah, Jeremy Sohan, out of anybody in this group, I will put him at elite. And I think this is a good list, and I'm sure everyone's going to hate it. But anyways, if you guys want to support the channel, man, it's only $2 per month. Patreon, YouTube links below. I'll get with you guys later. Until next time, deuces.